Alright guys, so funny thing, Pan Pizza or Rebel Taxi did a review on Jimmy Neutron, the adventures of Jimmy Neutron. And I was watching his videos. I haven't really watched his videos in a while. Um, Funny thing, it's weird because I'm subscribed to him, but like I know he doesn't release videos a lot, but this is not just him. A lot of people been having this issue. Is when he posts something, sometimes it's in my feed, sometimes it's not. Maybe because I don't have notification for him, and I kind of clutter. Like for him, I think YouTube sees him as a person that releases it here and there, and then it doesn't really pick it up. And so it's like when he does release it, it's like YouTube's like, well, fuck it, they don't really pick it up, or I don't know, something's wrong with YouTube. YouTube always has the fucked up systems. But anywho, let's get into this. So he did a review on Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, and it was really good review. I recommend it. I might actually put the link in the description box for below. Go watch it. Go watch it. He does a great job with that. I might actually have to do a review on Jimmy Neutron down the road. Probably a video I do next year. Give me some ideas, so I could really, write something out for it. Because there's a lot to talk about. But in this video, he gave his little mini review of Planet Sheen, and boy, let's talk about that colossal fuck. It was a terrible idea. It was a bad idea for that show to even get made. Reason number one, the show Jimmy Neutron was canceled. I think prior to that was about maybe 3 to 4 years. I'm not too sure. Let me look it up. Because the Planet Sheen came out, believe it or not, it came out my senior year of high school. So yeah, guys. So let me look it up for a minute. Okay, so the Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. Let me look. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron ended 2006. So 2006 was his last original release. 8, 9, 10. So about 4 years later, they released Planet Sheen. Here's the thing about shows like Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron's fan base is not very huge or conglomerate. Like there's not people knocking on Nickelodeon doors sending them letters say we want Jimmy Neutron. So for them to make a spinoff show, it should have been released the year after or 2 years prior of the post-release of the original series. Not 3, not 4, not 5. Look at movies similar to that. When a movie is released a year or 2 years prior to that, you gotta have that movie out fast. Unless a movie makes $1 billion fucking dollars, you cannot wait or sit on your ass with the movie. Like the movie James Cameron Avatar. We're already going 10 years. I do think the name itself will make its money, but to be quite honest with you, if word of mouth comes out saying the movie's no similar to the first one, it might actually hurt the movie. So he's going to have to really change some stuff up with the movie. But he's a guy that his name alone will get people going to that movie because they know at the end of the day that movie's going to be fucking fantastic because he's a visionary and he loves this movie to be visionarily good. With that being said, Planet Sheen was terrible. I saw it. It was, like I said, it was released my senior year. I watched it, and it was a terrible idea. Making a show about Sheen is even terrible because Sheen was never the favorite character of the show. Believe it or not, the favorite character of the show, I think, or who had a fan favorite, would probably be Libby. Maybe Libby? No, it wasn't Libby. I would say Cindy. But even that time, Cindy wasn't really a fan favorite. Sheen wasn't a fan favorite. He was a likable character when he was with Ultralord. Here's the thing though. They just took Planet Sheen and went the full 80 with that. But there was no Ultralord. A lot of people said they should have a Sheen and Ultralord TV show. That's what people wanted. Not a Planet Sheen and he's by himself with a talking monkey, which was even funnier. The monkey was smarter than Sheen was, and it was like, my God. then the worst thing about it, so Carl Weasley is Sheen's go-to guy. Like Jimmy, a lot of people say, oh, Jimmy was friends with Carl or Sheen. Yes, but Sheen and Carl, they were like, those two were buddies. Like those two were always together, more so than anyone. So without Carl too, it really didn't balance off. And Carl's another character too. He's not really easy to balance off. Jimmy was a smart man in there, and he can make sure that Sheen doesn't get too annoying. He can make sure Carl don't get too like a wuss, and to balance it out. No Jimmy, no balance. They're going full 80 with their characters, and it was awful. And Carl wasn't even in the show. Carl was a caterpillar, an alien caterpillar that was named something else, but it was really the same voice actor who voiced Carl, but he was in the show. Literally, the writers wanted Carl, but they couldn't use him because they didn't want him in the show. They just wanted to use another character that was similar to Carl, that looked like Carl, but wasn't Carl. So I looked at this like, what shit does this make? They get Carl. Carl's like, hey, he lands on the ship. He lands on space like, oh, I came looking for you, Sheen, and the ship said you were over here. It's like, yeah, you saved me. I crashed the ship though. I'm stuck on the planet with you, and there you go. Would have been the dumbest thing I ever saw, but it would have made more sense than what they did there. I'm trying to get my train of thought with this show. This show was flat out terrible. I mean, they had a blue girl that Sheen was interested in, which they never explained what happened to Libby. I guess Libby was a factor. Somebody even told me, they said it would have been better if Sheen, Libby, and Carl were all stuck on the planet. And you know what? That would have been better. Because one, that blue girl that Sheen has affection for would have had a love triangle going there. And Libby's a character that I think that would have balanced those two out with their annoyance. And Carl's a character that could have fallen in love with some other dude or whatever. And they had another character called Jorkus or Jorkus. Even Sheen laughed at his name, and I thought it was stupid. It was one of this show where it was trying to do something different, and actually it failed. Funny thing, the show company named Core closed its doors, went out of business, and they went to another company, but it was already, I think Nickelodeon already saw the writing on the wall with this show, so they canceled it for years. The show ended in 2013 of a total of 26 episodes. The show was released in 2010, but the show ended in 2013 of a span of 26 episodes. The show never really officially had a full run. It never finished. The show was canceled, and that's all you know. The thing about Jimmy Neutron, though, as the show, with Sheen, Carl, and all of them, it was a good show. I loved it. Some people say, oh, it's Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter was the evil germ. Like, go watch Pan Pizza's review. He explains it the best. Dexter and Jimmy are so different. Jimmy is pretty much a smart boy. Dexter is pretty much an evil mad scientist. Dexter was a mad scientist. This dude wanted to take over. But he wasn't like mad dark. Ha 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 ha. That was a fucking evil dude, but they weren't compatible. They weren't the same. They're very different in their own right. And Nickelodeon did a good job for establishing that. Dexter's Laboratory was still better than Jimmy Neutron, just my opinion. You know. And he goes on the whim. He says he does bring up a show that is very similar to Jimmy Neutron. I mean, not Jimmy Neutron, but Dexter's Laboratory. Johnny Test. But this show here though, it was good. I like Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, but Planet Sheen, that spinoff, no. This is probably one of the worst spinoffs. I mean, I really did. It didn't even live up to the show, not at all. I mean, the show had an original run, and all the episodes aired, and Nickelodeon aired those episodes multiple times throughout the week once they got over 26 something episodes. This shit didn't even get to 26. They pulled the plug on this shit so fast, it made you say to yourself, what the fuck happened? Really. It didn't even have an original run. So, I mean, like, they moved it to Nickelodeon, then they took it off, then for a good year, I think, they never aired it. Then they put it on Nicktoons, then they took it off because it wasn't drawing nothing. It was going back and forth. It was ridiculous. And the fans who were, I remember, there was a girl, talked to back in high school, and she was into the show. And I was like, the show's not gonna last. And she's like, how do you know? I'm like, it's not gonna last. And then it didn't. The show was a flop. The show was a big flop. And I wanted to last because I was a fan of the Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. But it really wasn't a good show. You know, I might do Adventures of Jimmy Neutron down the road because the movie. I might do something for the movie later on because I don't want to compare the movie and the show to the same thing because they're very different at times. You know, but I do like the show a little bit more than the movie. But we'll talk about that separate. They're you know, the movie and the show deserve their own separate video per se. But anyway, guys, let me know down below. Do you guys remember Planet Sheen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it was the worst decision that Nickelodeon did? Do you think they waited too long to make a spinoff of Jimmy Neutron? I think that's a big reason too, because a lot of Jimmy Neutron fans moved away. 5 years is a long time. It is a long time. And I said again, nobody's knocking on the door for a Jimmy Neutron sequel or a spinoff because a lot of people, some liked the ending, some didn't care for it. And I heard a lot of fans of Jimmy Neutron kind of scattered away once the show is wrapping up compared to a show like a Hey Arnold. People have been begging for that for years because it abruptly ended. And Hey Arnold touched so many people at a young age, even older and above, where Jimmy Neutron only touched people around, you know, a certain age group, like my age group. It never touched older fans. I never did. Dexter Laboratory did that, though. But I don't think Jimmy Neutron really did that as much as well. As always, guys, like and subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys think. Comment below and let me know. As always, peace and have a good day.